Excuse me. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I'll ask you to kindly take your seats as we can get started. Good evening. I hope you enjoyed your dinner, and I'd like to thank Aladdin for providing such a wonderful meal. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Aladdin. My name is Wendell Ray, and I'm the general manager of WRST Radio, the station of the Titans. It is my pleasure to welcome you and present tonight's honored guests. But first, I'd like to tell you about the Alumni Awards program. This evening, we are recognizing the achievements of 13 accomplished University of Wisconsin Oshkosh alumni. In 1972, the Alumni Association created the Outstanding Young Alumni Award program to recognize the early career achievements of our recent graduates. Tonight, 7 alumni will receive this honor because of the successes they have achieved in their careers thus far and the promise they hold for future achievement. We're also proud to honor 4 graduates with the Distinguished Alumni Award, established in 1964 to recognize those who have demonstrated a long record of distinguished service and achievement with a particular discipline, organization, or cause that has brought distinction to the university. Tonight's recipients bring the total number of UWO distinguished alumni to 243. And finally, we will honor 2 graduates with the Alumni Outstanding Service Award, which was established in honor of our university's sesquicentennial in 2021. As a permanent honor to tonight's award recipients, a brick in each of their names has been installed in the patio of this beautiful building. Tonight, they will receive a mini replica brick to display in their homes or offices, as well as a glass photo frame to showcase their favorite UWO memory. Finally, before we meet our honored guests, I would like to introduce UWO Chancellor Andrew Levitt. Please join me in welcoming Andy to the stage.
Thank you, Wendell. I turned 60 recently. I need these full time now, so you'll have to forgive me. A good evening, everyone. Welcome, distinguished and honored guests and Titans. Welcome home. This is really my favorite event of the year, and I don't say that at every event. I do say it for this event. This is really the joy of the year when we can bring people back. We're delighted that all of you made the trip back to UW Oshkosh. Many naturally think homecoming is about going home to your alma mater. I define home as its people. That means alumni and friends. That means you. And it's so good for all of us to be home. Athletic contests this week generate lots of Titan pride, but it's the students, the alumni, the people, and their stories and successes that really inspire me. So in that way, this is always an amazing event. Our honorees tonight, and those who have been celebrated before, are the embodiment of our collective efforts and value here at UW Oshkosh. An emergency physician, an international economic development director and diplomat, our own public safety official, a healthcare organization CEO, professors, and many, many more leaders. So many of them are community volunteers, several parents. All examples of what's best about what we do here. Each person and their story reminds us of the ways Titans touch and change lives across the spectrum of human experience. They and their achievements also remind us of why choosing UWO and investing in UWO is a good bet. The ROI is incredible, not just for the graduates, but also for the organizations, the communities, for our state, nation, and for our world. You may have heard that UWO and the Universities of Wisconsin institutions rank 43rd in the nation, 43rd out of 50 states in the level of state funding we receive. One might say, Chancellor, looks like you're pretty good at pretty efficient in how we spend those dollars. And I would say, well, that's an interesting argument. Then I would say Wisconsin shouldn't be 43rd in anything. It should be much, much higher. As a matter of fact, we're asking to be 25th, that's the current ask for the legislature for state funding for the university is to move us up to 25th so that we can better serve our students. So tonight, as you hear our honoree stories, I hope you'll agree that we are worthy of a greater investment. Speaking of alumni stories, as Chancellor, it is a privilege and a gift to be able to regularly meet with alumni, to listen to their memories, and to hear their successes. A common thread throughout many stories goes something like this. I chose UWO, I got to a campus, I was unconfident, unsure of myself, as many new students are. I thought I knew what I was going to pursue. Then I took this class. I had this particular professor. They encouraged me. They opened my eyes. I got involved in this experience or that team or a great program or this new opportunity, or I took this trip and suddenly I discovered something about myself that I never knew was there. A creativity, a determination, leadership quality, or resilience. It has served me well throughout my time. Whatever my career, whatever the future threw at me, what I experienced and learned at UWO helped me not only get through it, but in many cases to thrive through it. Those alumni are the first to explain that their investment in UWO was worth it tenfold. And in the same way, our investment in UWO generate an incredible ROI as well. The proof is in this very room tonight. So before I leave the stage, I have some homework for you. When you hear a young person, or a family member, or a work colleague, or anyone in your circles or networks that you may encounter tell you college isn't worth it, pause, smile, and tell them it is so worth it. The future is foggy and full of unpredictable obstacles. UWO helps learners anticipate, adapt, advance, and to thrive. If that UWO skeptic persists and expects you to prove it, share your Titan story. Then remember the amazing honorees we celebrate tonight and share their stories as well. I think it's fair to say that their choice of UWO as a path, as a passage in their life's journey, helped tonight's honorees achieve some incredible things and ultimately arrive at this moment. To each of them, I say thank you and well done. In closing, I just want to say thank you to everyone here for supporting UWO and me over the last 10 years. You may have heard I'm stepping away from my role as Chancellor on June 30th. It has been a joy, excuse me. It has been a joy since 2014 to help work alongside UWO community and alumni, and together we lead this institution. Higher education faces challenging headwinds, but nights like tonight remind us all why we dedicate our lives to this cause. It's about the future, and UWO's is bright. Thank you, and go Titans.
And thank you, Chancellor. It is now my pleasure to introduce our outstanding Young Alumni Award recipients. Tonight, we will honor 7 alumni who have graduated within the past 15 years for their professional and civic accomplishments and their future promise. This brings the number of esteemed young alumni to receive this award to 237. Our first award recipient tonight is Kenton Barber. In 2017, Barber earned his bachelor's degree in radio, TV, film, propelling his career as an award-winning camera operator. From a young age, he had a passion for video production, and today he executes camera work for high-profile live events, including college and professional football, golf, and the Olympics. Barber's work is viewed worldwide And in 2022, he won an Emmy for his work at the Super Bowl. Despite his full plate as a Steadicam camera operator, Barber continues to share his expertise with current RTF students.
I was doing the Dodgers-Yankees game in the Bronx. I'm standing in the well. I have to get the gate in front of me open, and then I need to cross into the infield on the inside of the white line, on the inside of the bases, getting to the home plate. So I'm thinking about that, and then I'm always thinking about not falling. Not falling is like the biggest thing I think about. I got the call a couple weeks ago, and I right away told both my parents went to UWO, so I texted them, and I had the mentor that I have at the Ripon channel that I mentioned before. He's also UWO alum, and he is one of the folks who wrote a recommendation letter. So it means a lot to me because I look at it from the very beginning, from where I started at the Ripon channel, and just soaking in all the knowledge that I can have, and then everything I learned at UWO and working during UWO. And it's humbling because I know everybody else in the classes around us, 2017, 18, 16, 19, all those young alumni, there's tons of people doing awesome stuff. And there's people doing way more important stuff than I'm doing. I'm making TV. I'm very honored to be appreciated for the craft that I've found myself in, and then the number of years that I put myself in. But there's no other school that I kind of pictured this happening for. So to be recognized at the school that I kind of always knew I was going to go to is really great. I'm really honored.
Kenton can't be here with us this weekend, as of course he's working and operating a Steadicam this weekend on the big noon kickoff for Fox College football, and then on Sunday he'll be at the NFL's Football Night in America. Please join me in welcoming Jeff Barber to the stage, Kenton's father, who is going to accept the Outstanding Young Alumni Award on his behalf.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Barber. I am Kenton's father. As you can imagine, Kenton's schedule is pretty unforgiving this time of the year as he's in the midst of his fall football season. He asked me to share the following. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Alumni Association for this tremendous honor. I would also like to thank the radio, TV, film faculty, my family, and friends, as everybody has played a role in getting to this point. I take enormous pride in my work, and being recognized by my alma mater is an incredible privilege. I look back at my time at UW Oshkosh with gratitude, especially for the tremendous support system that the RTF program provides. There's really no program like this anywhere else in the state or even the region. For the hands-on experience it provides to incoming students right away, to the wide network of RTF alums, students in this program really are set up for success. I look forward to continuing to represent my alma mater with pride. Thank you again for this incredible recognition.
Our next award recipient is Blair Braun, who graduated in 2018 with a degree in psychology and is now an assistant professor of psychology at UW-Platteville. Braun's experience at UWO, conducting undergraduate research, set her up for success in graduate school and her current role. After receiving her UWO degree, Braun continued her studies by enrolling in a doctoral program in experimental psychology at Kent State University, where she earned a master's degree in 2020 and her PhD in 2023 in psychological science. Braun has shaped a reputation for excellence steeped in research and has developed into an independent scholar and pedagogically informed teacher within 6 short years since leaving UWO.
I graduated in spring of 2018, and yeah, my time at Oshkosh started off weird, but turned out to be okay. So I really found eyewitness memory and eyewitness suggestibility super interesting when I learned about that in cognitive psychology. This summer, between my junior and senior year, I interned at the University of Wisconsin Law School through the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project seeks to exonerate those who believe they are wrongfully convicted through DNA evidence. And I got to see, reading different court transcripts, the different types of questions lawyers were asking, things that the psychological research that we do in a lab applied into the legal setting. My time at Oshkosh, I loved being involved in campus. I loved doing research and tutoring and all of the things that I did while I was here. I was an orientation leader, and then to get this honor back from UW Oshkosh as a young alumni means a lot for me. I am really excited to be an alumni from this institution because of the faculty that helped me get to where I am today.
Blair Braun, UW Platteville professor. One question before you get your award is, who are you going to be cheering for tomorrow? No, all kidding aside, congratulations on a well-deserved award.
The answer is Oshkosh.
Okay.
My students called me a traitor on Wednesday when I did tell them that. Thank you. I really want to give my gratitude to the Alumni Board for selecting me for this award. Like I said in that video, I was a transfer student. I dropped out of college twice. And I came back to Oshkosh and got involved and got integrated in the campus, and the faculty, staff, my parents, my sister, even though my sister hated when I saw her on campus. It was really nice to have a really good support system. Doing undergraduate research, getting funding from the Office of Student Research and Creative Activity was integral in my success in becoming a faculty member. I have to specifically thank Dr. Kroback and Dr. Kucker and Dr. Karst for all of their support as I was a psychology major, wanting to go into experimental psychology and pursue a PhD. There were plenty of times in their offices that I think they were sick of me asking which program I should choose, and they celebrated when I finally did. But I'm incredibly grateful for this university, for all the support that I've had from a lot of people, and one day I hope to be the mentor that the faculty and staff at UW Oshkosh have been for me. So thank you, congrats to the other winners, and have a great night. Oh, thank you.
Our next Outstanding Young Alumni Award recipient is Zoe Dawes of Vienna, Austria. Yes, Vienna, Austria, who earned her bachelor's degree in International Studies and Political Science in 2021. Dawes turned an internship abroad with the International Atomic Energy Agency into a high-level career just a few years after graduation. As a student here at UWO, Dawes was involved in several extracurricular activities, including the Segregated Fee Committee, the Oshkosh Student Association, and Model United Nations, where she held the positions of Student Association Representative, Vice President, and President, earning top awards in the 2020 Model United Nations competition. Today, Dawes is an Associate Project Officer in the Department of Technical Cooperation, Division for Asia and the Pacific, for the United Nations International Atomic Energy Agency. In her nomination, current division head Tatiana Ivanova said Dawes holds a position at the IAEA, sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy, that was sought by young professionals with advanced degrees, yet early in her career. Dawes has had 3 consecutive contracts, a strong work ethic, and eager attitude as she's excited about her future. Zoe Dons, please step forward to receive your well-deserved Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
We have this amazing tradition and the tradition of excellence in the UW Oshkosh Model United Nations team. We have so many successful alumni, and it's just really amazing that we have continued this and continuing this tradition outside of UW Oshkosh. The International Atomic Energy Agency is a UN organization based in Vienna, Austria, and maybe you guessed it by the title, but it focuses on nuclear. In the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, which I will be honest, I had no idea the different benefits and applications of peaceful uses of nuclear energy and what they could really do. I am so beyond honored to receive this award. I'm feeling really proud of myself because kind of reflecting while putting all of these materials together really shows me how far I've come in a few years, as well as what UW Oshkosh prepared me to do. Many parallels between what I did in Model United Nations.
Good evening, bonsoir. Guten Abend. I don't know at this point. So many things to say. Really grateful to be here. Before attending UW Oshkosh, I found that my entire life I had this natural talent to put in the bare minimum effort and coast by. It was not until I met the late Dr. Grebe, former chair of the International Studies Department, that my full potential was truly unlocked. He taught me how to be a leader, how to set lofty goals with how to achieve them, and that I was capable of achieving more than I ever thought possible, including my wildest dreams, if I worked hard enough. During my time on the Model United Nations team, I became a small part of this tradition of excellence. Each year, Dr. Grebe would involve alumni in our activities, and in particular, he would always show us at the beginning of the year a picture of the 1994 team, and he would explain to us each person's great successes in life as like a mode of inspiration for us. And I'm really honored that some of those teammates from that team are here tonight, and I really can't thank you guys enough for being such great role models and mentors in my life, and I know you have been in so many others on the team. So it's really as somebody that has always looked up to alumni in this way, it's really the reason that I feel so much gratitude and honor to be here tonight, and that Janet had thought to even nominate me, and I'm so happy to be here and accept this award all the way from Vienna, Austria. Before I packed up my life and I moved by myself to Vienna, Austria, I had never even left the US. I never had a passport. At that time, I genuinely believed that I would be gone for just 1 year. This October now marks the beginning of my 4th year of employment abroad, and my internship turned into a position in Paris, France, into a junior analyst role at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development at the Nuclear Energy Agency, which has really brought me back now to the International Atomic Energy Agency at the United Nations in Vienna. Reflecting on my time at Oshkosh, I found so many parallels to my career today. Experiences that I had inside the classroom and outside, but especially when it came to the Model United Nations team, which taught me how to be confident, how to do public speaking and researching and writing, which allows me to be the most prepared person in the room. Today, I had the opportunity to speak to some classes, including the Model United Nations team, and it was great to see these students at the beginning of their time at UW Oshkosh. And it was interesting to reflect and tell them, I had no idea when I was sitting here in these halls and in these classes what was in store for me after my time here. My life wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for my time on the Model UN team, which I'm forever indebted to. In addition to my career, it's where I met my best friends, Matt and Tabitha, and my husband, Coleman, who I married in Oshkosh this past May at the Ruby Owl Tap Room. If you don't know about it, you should go. While Oshkosh and Vienna may seem like very different places, UW Oshkosh, specifically Dr. Grebe, more than prepared me to soar for my dreams and make a career in an international organization. Of course, I must thank my family and my friends, but especially my parents. Even though I'm away every day, I miss you, but you make me feel so supported and loved even when we're an ocean apart. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Caitlin Hopper, a 2015 graduate with a degree in international studies with European emphasis. After graduation, Hopper leveraged her passion for international development to work with organizations that advance food security and economic growth, especially in developing countries. While at UWO, Hopper explored a few different majors before discovering UWO's award-winning Model United Nations program and was immediately hooked. Hopper and the team won numerous awards in international competitions, and she secured individual awards in 2014 and 2015. Hopper moved to Washington, D.C. after graduation and accepted a position at the International Food Policy Research Institute, where she worked in donor relations, facilitating engagements with large entities such as USAID, the Gates Foundation, World Bank, and United Nations agencies. She currently works as the Global Board Affairs Manager for the World Resources Institute. Despite her heavy workload and international travel, Hopper volunteers extensively with the regional and national Model United Nations and has served in numerous leadership roles.
I chose the school for reasons that didn't end up applying directly to my future, but of course, UWO launched me into a career and a life path that I adore and I'm very grateful for. So now I work at the World Resources Institute. WRI is a very large institute. We deal with a lot of different things, but essentially we are trying to find sustainable solutions that work for people, nature, and climate. That work can range anywhere from working with governments to implement electors to school bus programs here in the US. It's a wide range of things that we do because there's a wide range of resources available to us. You know, when I was told that I was nominated, I was incredibly flattered, and it really meant a lot to me to be nominated for this award and to have many people be willing to speak on my behalf. For I had so many great years at UWO. It helps prove to myself that I'm doing the right thing.
Please join me in welcoming Caitlin Hopper to the stage to receive the Outstanding Young Alumni Award, recognizing her outstanding professional success and significant contributions through her volunteer endeavors.
Honorable delegates. Thank you so much to the Alumni Association Board for this honor, and to Chase Mitchell, who nominated me, to Stacy Roberts and Michael Eaton, who wrote letters of reference for me, and to UWO for welcoming me back home. It's really fantastic to be back. I'd like to express my immense gratitude to my family, friends, and faculty members who are in this room and elsewhere who have helped me become the person that you see before you. My mom and dad are here. You've always supported me, and you gave me a lot of grace while I figured out who I was here at UWO. 6 years of grace, to be precise. And your patience with me, hopefully you see that it's paid off. Thank you to my friends here and elsewhere. You are the engine that keep me running. And thank you to the UW Oshkosh Model United Nations team and to Dr. Grebe. and to Tracy and Ange, who help the team now. I had the pleasure of meeting some team members earlier today with Zoe, and it's really inspiring to see the next generation of global leaders coming up here at UWO. And I'd like to send out a special thanks to Kyle Kellen for literally forcing me to join the team. He changed my life. When I spoke at the United Nations General Assembly Hall earlier this year, I talked about how people are mosaics, how a human being is a work of art that's made up of tiny bits of other people, and how every interaction we have with others, big or small, they change us and they make us more complex and more interesting people. Standing here, I can see exactly how UWO has influenced my mosaic. Even though I didn't know the path I would end up taking, I can see each brick that was laid here at UWO. I graduated with a degree in international studies, and now I work in international development. I was heavily involved in Model UN here, and now I spent almost a decade volunteering for Model UN organizations. I was heavily involved in the Oshkosh Student Association, spending a lot of time as the policy expert there. Now I have a master's in public policy and administration. And I was heavily involved in the Rainbow Alliance for Hope, and now I'm surrounded by a beautiful diversity of friends and colleagues. I'm proud to say that I've also contributed to UWO's mosaic over the years. There are tangible examples of that. For example, across the street, you'll find a gender-neutral bathroom in the sports bubble that is there because I made a stink about it during a segregated fees committee that I'm not sure if everyone is happy about. But the intangible impacts are what I'm most proud of. The lifelong friendships that I've forged, the mentorship that I have benefited from, and now I can help other people benefit from as well, and the memories that I will never, ever, ever forget here. I spent 6 years here, as I mentioned, and they have had a huge impact on me, and I'm so, so honored to be here with all of you, and I'm even more honored to say that a really big part of my mosaic will always be black and yellow. So, hail Titans.
Our next honoree is Alexandra Nussbaum, a 2016 graduate of the Medical Technology Program. Nussbaum serves as a Laboratory Information Systems Technical Specialist at Health Partners, serving as liaison between the labs and the IT department on an enterprise level while still practicing as a certified medical laboratory scientist. She earned a master's degree in Health and Human Services Administration in 2020 and is active in numerous professional leadership and volunteer roles, including service on the National Board of Directors for the American Society for Clinical Laboratory Science, a state director for the American Society for Clinical Pathologists, and an active volunteer for the Special Olympics Minnesota chapter as a coach for a Special Olympics team. Nussbaum was inducted into the Alpha Mu Tau fraternity with the American Society for Clinical Laboratory Science in 2023 and was eligible in less than 7 years, when most inductees take 10 to 20 years.
My role is as an LIS, so that's Laboratory Information Systems Technical Specialist, and I have a unique role in the organization where I work with all the hospitals and all the clinics to make system-wide changes that affects everybody. When I entered the medical laboratory science field, I was a returning student when I enrolled. John Strauss went to bat for me, making sure that I didn't have to take any additional classes. He supported me with working full-time and going to school part-time. He made sure I had everything I needed to be successful. He helped me to find an internship spot, which is a requirement of the degree program. He set me up for such success. I felt ready to take my certification exam upon graduating. The thing that made Oshkosh different was that they cared, and they truly look out for every student, ensuring that they will be successful with however that looks for that individual student. I absolutely loved my time at Oshkosh. I think it feels like home. I still, when I drive past Oshkosh on the highway, I'm like, oh, I just want to stop by. I think any student entering Oshkosh will have a similar experience because they truly pride themselves on being student forward and being a quality educational establishment.
Please join me in honoring Alexandra Nussbaum as she steps forward to accept the Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
Like everyone, I want to thank everybody here tonight. It's such an honor to be recognized in this way. When I think back of my time at Oshkosh, it was a bit different, I think, than most. I started my career at Oshkosh in high school. For post-secondary education, I took some classes here, and it was a great opportunity, and it made me realize how special UWO was. Then I went off and did college somewhere else. Sorry. And I came back in 2014 to do a medical laboratory science degree because I found that that was my true calling and my true passion. And I have to thank John Strauss for helping me get in the program, getting my feet wet and getting into it, and Dr. Jancourt, Mallory Jancourt, sitting at my table over there. Thanks to these folks, they helped me blossom into a confident young woman. Beforehand, I was shy. I would not have joined a club to save my life. I would never come to an event like this. I would never talk to people. But they shown me that I had potential and that I could go and do amazing things. All I had to do was think that I could. And that's what UW did for me. It made me realize I could, and I was good enough to do these things. Of attending 3 different universities, UWO is definitely my one that I talk about the most, even though I probably spent the least amount of time here. In addition, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank my sister Tony, who has been just the greatest support between being a loving, caring sister and having that good sibling rivalry to try to make sure that I'm always better. I don't think I won, though, but it's fine. I'd also like to thank my husband, Nick Murphy. We've been married for a whopping 27 days. It's been a fun month. But he has sat with me through it all. For the last 6 years, he sat through all the conference calls and all the work and through all the conferences and trips I've gone on to promote my own career. And so I thank him. And I want to thank my parents as well, because they had to host me as an adult, returning back to college for several years, and let me just live there rent-free so that I could go back to college. So thank you, Mom and Dad, and thank you, everybody. My 2 nominators, Dr. Catherine Golab and Dr. Patricia Tilley, who's not here tonight. So thank you.
Our next honoree is Kyle Pettit, whose journey into the world of athletic training and kinesiology began at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, where he earned his athletic training degree in 2014. After UWO, he continued his education at Illinois State University, where he earned his Master's of Science in Athletic Training before pursuing his doctorate at Michigan State University. Since 2018, Pettit has emerged as a prolific researcher, authoring or contributing to 16 peer-reviewed publications and securing grant funding for numerous projects, particularly focusing on sports-related concussions. Pettit's body of scholarly work has significantly enriched the understanding of concussion assessment and rehabilitation, impacting clinical practices nationwide. In 2022, Pettit returned to his alma mater as faculty member, teaching, and mentoring the next generation of UWO healthcare professionals.
I am from New London, Wisconsin, which is not too far away. I played sports all my life, and I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, and I kind of stumbled upon athletic training, and UW Oshkosh had a really good program for athletic training, plus it's really close to home, so it was kind of a no-brainer there. The program director of the athletic training program, Robert Sipes, he really helped progress my career and helped give me a lot of experience that I never thought I would have, one of those being working with the New England Patriots as a summer intern. So that was really eye-opening, and he was really a driving force behind getting me to where I wanted to go. Where I am now, being here and back at UW Oshkosh, the award means, I think, probably a little bit more to me, maybe than other individuals, only because I'm here, right? I'm back here, I work here. I'm trying to shape the future alumni that we're gonna have.
Please join me in welcoming Kyle Pettit to the stage to receive his Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
All right. Just have a short little speech. So first of all, thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to receive this award, and I'm honored that UW Oshkosh and the awards committee selected me when we have so many deserving other individuals who graduate from this university all the time. But I just want to thank some people, and I promise I'll keep it pretty short. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Rachel. She's been my rock, my best friend, and my support system through every step of my journey. I can't thank her enough for everything that she does for me and for our family. I also want to thank my two boys, Stanley and Archie. Just thank you for being you. They make life fun and enjoyable. I also want to thank my parents for the opportunities that they've given me all my life and for shaping me into the person I am today. I've learned so much from them and wouldn't be here without them. Another thank you to my brother, Jeremy. He's always served as a role model for me and has always taught me what it means to be a hard worker. His work ethic constantly inspires me. Thank you to my sisters who supported me through every step of my journey. Their endless support means the world. And finally, I want to thank my UWO and my athletic training colleagues. Thank you to Dr. Sipes for believing in me not only as a student, but also as a colleague. Your guidance and mentorship through this profession has gotten me to where I am today. And Dr. Culver, thank you for teaching me so much as an undergrad student and for continuing to teach me every day as my colleague. Thank you to my high school athletic trainer, Kim Candler, for getting me interested in this profession and for serving as an important mentor for me as well. And finally, to my other UWO professors, colleagues, and students, you have shaped me and continue to shape me into the professional I am today. You constantly motivate me to be the best I can, and I strive to provide my students the mentorship that I received during my time here at UWO. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Aaron Robinson, who graduated with a biology degree in 2012 and is an emergency medicine physician with Hennepin County Medical Center in Minnesota. Following his graduation from UWO, Robinson earned a Master of Public Health degree from the University of Minnesota and a Doctor of Medicine degree from the University of Wisconsin. He also serves as an assistant professor of emergency medicine, is medical director of education and critical care, and serves the National Football League in Minneapolis as visiting team medical liaison. Robinson has been praised for his outstanding clinical, teaching, and research efforts and abilities locally, regionally, and nationally, and has provided significant emergency medicine academic contributions to the underserved Native American population.
UW-Oshkosh, I felt, really prepared me for the studies of medical school. I also had a lot of great mentors that have gone through the system before and become doctors as well from UWO. That's where I met Dr. Dana Merriman, née Dana Vaughn, and she was really helped guide me through college and through the journey, and I did not feel like a number anymore, and the class sizes were a lot more what I was used to. I'm a doer, and emergency medicine attracts a lot of folks that are doers, but I like to make decisions with not a lot of information, and that's what you have to do as an emergency medicine doctor. We don't have minutes or hours or days to gather as much information as we can to make a decision. We have to make a decision and triage patients based on the available information at the time. UW-Oshkosh prepared myself and many other colleagues that I know that went there very well for the rigors of medical school. So I hope that I'm an example that you can go to work, you can go to where you want, whether that's to a giant school, to Oshkosh, or even just something smaller. And the whole science program prepared me really well, and I've got a lot of great people to thank for that.
Aaron Robinson regrets he can't be with us this evening, but we are pleased his UWO biology professor, Dr. Dana Vaughn Merriman, who called Robinson one of the finest students she has taught and advised, is here to accept the Outstanding Young Alumni Award on his behalf.
Not very good with microphones. So I've been texting with Aaron, who is not here tonight, and I figured it's because he's getting ready to be the emergency response physician as what's the team? Detroit Lions are coming to the Vikings this weekend, but it's even better than that. He's at home being a dad. His wife's also a physician at Hennepin, and she's working tonight, so he's at home with his son, my pretend grandson. He does have a few things he'd asked me to say. He says, where'd it go? Texting. UW-Oshkosh will always be a special place to me. It was my first experience in academics, and it brought me to amazing places. I have many memories from UWO, like walking to Halsey in the brutal winter. I think we trained him to get ready for Minneapolis, where he works now. It was the perfect size college for me at that time in my life. Thank you for this award, and thank you for my education. Thank you, everyone.
I'd like to extend my personal congratulations to each of our outstanding Young Alumni Award recipients this evening. They all have had such amazing success in their early careers, and we're extremely proud of their achievements. Now, it's my pleasure to present our Distinguished Alumni Awards to 4 highly qualified and accomplished alumni. Our first Distinguished Alumni Award honoree is Scott Barr. After graduating from UW-Oshkosh with a degree in criminal justice in 1986, Barr went on to earn his Juris Doctor degree from Hamline University School of Law, where he wrote and served as an editor for the Hamline Law Review and graduated with honors. Barr has been with McCarty Law in Appleton since 1990, where he is currently the managing partner, carrying a full-time law practice, assisting business owners and executives in a variety of business transactions, from formations of startups to mergers and acquisitions, all while overseeing the business with around 40 employees. Despite his demanding career, Barr is active in his community, serving as a board member, leader, and supporter of numerous organizations, from the Fox Cities Marathon to the Attic Theater. UWO is also a beneficiary of Barr's expertise and generosity, as he has served as a member of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and led the organization as president, and is a current member of the UWO Foundation Board of Directors.
I'm Scott Barr, and I graduated in 1986. I walked into the school counseling office in about March of my senior year and said, I'm graduating in a couple of months now, and what do you think about this college thing? Does that seem like a thing I should do? And when they stopped freaking out and their heads spinning in circles, they said, well, here are some options for you. So I didn't have a ton of options available, but this turned out to be a great option. The most formative experience for me was the 3 years I spent as a CA in South Scott Hall. Everything I needed to be a lawyer, I learned from the Department of Residence Life. One of the things that I found out working on the alumni board and working with alumni is just how interested people are in being involved. To be here, to be on campus, to meet with students, to meet with faculty, and to be able to find a way to give something back, I think really means a lot to people, as it meant a lot to me.
A round of applause for Scott Barr.
So a lot of you here in the room know me, and so you know that I don't really love being the center of attention. So if you could all just stand up, face the back of the room, that would be a lot easier for me. So a lot of what I wanted to say tonight I actually said right there. I'm a business practitioner. I help people negotiate and document complicated relationships and transactions. That covers a lot of ground. That's mergers and acquisitions. That's a lot of construction stuff. I've helped companies and owners build structures and factories and all sorts of things all over the country. And I get to do that because of all the things that I learned here. And as I said, classroom provided a lot of that for me. Learning critical thinking, logical reasoning, clear and concise communication, and so I have to thank the university for all of that, all those great classes. I learned a lot of what I need to do my job every day by working in the Department of Residence Life. It's amazing how often helping people settle a transaction and get everything documented is very much like talking a bunch of drunken revelers into being quiet and going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, very early morning. So sitting at my table are a lot of my friends from the Department of Residence Life. I want to thank them very much as well. And I think Dr. Chitwood is here somewhere. Raise your hand. So thank you very much to the Department of Residence Life for providing me over 3 years as a CA in South Scott Hall, all of the great experiences that really do inform what I do every day. Definitely want to thank my wife, Barbara, who I met in her freshman year. She's been my best friend and most trusted advisor for 30, 40-ish years now. So it was a long time ago. So 40 years, right? It was 1984, fall of 1984. Obviously, thanks also to the Alumni Association. I was on, as you heard, was on the Alumni Association board for about 10 years at a time when all of us read all of these packages every year for every nominee. And so I know very well the caliber of people who have been nominated for and have received this award over the years. So I want to thank the Alumni Association very much for nominating me and selecting me for this award anyway. So thank you very much for counting me among all of those very qualified and great people. Thank you.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce our next Distinguished Alumni Award recipient, Shane Carter, a double alumnus, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing in 2002 and a Master of Science in Nursing in 2010. Carter began his healthcare career as an intensive care unit nurse at the hospital now known as Ascension Northeast Wisconsin Mercy Campus. Now, a couple decades later, he is leading as president of Ascension Mercy Hospital. Prior to his current role, Carter served as chief nurse officer at Advocate Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh for 12 years. and has worked as a nurse manager and in clinical nursing education. In addition to his professional career, Carter is also a community volunteer, serving on the Board of Visitors for the UWO College of Nursing since 2011, Vice President of the Omro School Board, and is active with several athletics booster organizations.
Grew up in the area, had a lot of friends and family that went to UW Oshkosh. Actually was a ball boy for the Titans back in the late 80s, early 90s. And having younger sisters and younger family, I wanted to stay locally and go to UW Oshkosh here. Professor Dr. Sharon Chappie. She was my adult health 2 clinical junior class, and Dr. Chappie really kind of grounded me to get me to think differently about where I was heading and taking my program and graduation seriously. And to this day, she's been a motivator for me to keep going in my career in healthcare. Being impactful to the community that helped shape who I am. Now I feel I'm in a position at my age, my career, and what I like to do to give back. Living here my whole life, I just, I feel rooted here, and I feel that although I've been set up to be successful and to do something maybe bigger and better, I think that bigger and better is right here. So.
Please join me in welcoming Shane Carter to the stage to accept his Distinguished Alumni Award for his significant contributions to healthcare.
I'm glad they show the video because I would catfish you with my picture, so there's a lot more gray than the picture I submitted, and when I get through this, you'll probably understand why. Again, thank you. Honored and humbled to be in front of you today, receiving this Distinguished Alumni Award. As noted, double alumni graduate of the College of Nursing, and I just want to say thank you to the College of Nursing, Dean Chung, for nominating me twice, maybe. I think I got it the second time around, so I appreciate that. Dr. Suzanne Murnaka, so I don't know if you're here today, if you're listening in, thank you. Dr. Shelley Lancaster, and as the video shared, Dr. Sharon Chappie. What the video took out was what she said to me, that junior 2 clinical experience. She said, Shane, if you keep this going, you will never be a nurse, you will not pass your boards. I'm here, I passed my boards, I became a nurse. But it's those words that inspired me to continue to do better and to achieve more. A big thank you to the Alumni Board of Directors. Really appreciate this honor. UWO has shaped my nursing career and provided me an opportunity to give back in a passionate way, not only to our communities, but to the patients that we serve here in Oshkosh. A huge thank you to all my colleagues, all my nurse leaders, my mentors, coaches, the providers and physicians that I worked with, particularly the patients and the families that I cared for in this community, and the Oshkosh community through my work at Aurora Healthcare and now at Ascension. A huge thank you to Ascension, Wisconsin for selecting me to serve as Mercy's new hospital president here in Oshkosh. I absolutely love what I do. I love serving this community and everything that comes with it. But most of all, I would not be here on this stage today if it wasn't for my family. They're all here today, Mom, Dad, for grounding me, guiding me, and making me the man I am today, the husband, the father, the nurse, and the leader. Thank you so much. My sisters, Shaya and Samara. Samara, thank you for being here. You always keep me grounded and tell it to me real, so I appreciate that. My entire extended family, my father-in-law, Ralph Beck, my mother-in-law, Lynn. Ralph, if you're watching, I gave you the link. I hope you're watching. Thank you. I love you. He's homesick today. But even more important than that, my children. Cammie, I love you. Alumni, working on her master's degree here at the College of Nursing. Aaliyah, Shaylee, my youngest daughter is a senior in high school. She's at home. She's on the homecoming court. And it's homecoming at Omro tonight, so she's on the football field celebrating. And then my little boy, Jay, love you, kid. And then, most importantly, my wife, Erin, who's also a double alum at UW Oshkosh. The theme is going here. Thank you for everything. I love you. I love you. I'd not be here today if it weren't for all the guidance, support, criticism, everything that you provide me. Thank you. I love you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Our next Distinguished Alumni Award recipient is John Close, who graduated in 1976 with a bachelor's degree in radio, TV, film. Close fulfilled his father's legacy in and love of motorsports by fashioning a career that began as a stringer, writing local racing stories to retiring as one of the top-level professionals in auto racing as a respected 30-year NASCAR journalist, author of 5 books, marketer, team member, and race day spotter. Close's professional activities extend beyond personal achievements. He pioneered media coaching for aspiring drivers that set new standards in the field as he blended his expertise in communications with a deep understanding of motorsports dynamics. He brought innovative strategies and insights with his extensive work in public relations and marketing for top-tier NASCAR teams. And his books and articles serve as foundational texts that guide newcomers and veterans alike. Close is active in his fraternity, Delta Sigma Phi, and will be inducted into their Hall of Fame tomorrow. In addition, he generally shares his expertise with current UWO students by guest lecturing and mentoring, focusing not on his own storied career, but on their work and potential.
I knew right away. When I got there. I joined Delta Sig, and we had a great UWO professor, a gentleman named Sherman Randerson, and Doc Randerson was an amazing person. He made me a better student, and he made me a better person. I contacted everybody I could and said, hey, can I write something for you? And I started getting more and more cred. Then all of a sudden, I'm working at racetracks, doing the public relations for places like Slinger, and I would cover about 70 events a year. I loved what I was doing, and eventually in 1994, I was at a Rockford Speedway banquet where I happened to be sitting next to a NASCAR vice president named Dennis Huth, who said, John, have you ever thought about being in NASCAR? And I said, well, yeah, but guys like me don't get those jobs. And 2 months later, I'm standing on the wall at Daytona as the public relations person for Bobby Labonte in the Maxwell House Winston Cup Pontiac.
Please welcome John Close as he comes forward to accept his Distinguished Alumni Award for his incredible career in motorsports media.
Wow. Thank you. Before I get rolling here a little bit, I shared a conversation with Andy this morning that I just want to make public, and that's, Chancellor, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your service to this great university, and really do appreciate you, sir. I'd like to thank all of you for your continued support of UWO, the Alumni Association, obviously, all of all of my great family, friends, and Delta Sigma Phi fraternity brothers who are here tonight as well. When I walked into Culver Fieldhouse on May 14th, 1976, I had absolutely no clue, no idea whatsoever as to how central UWO would be to every part of the rest of my life, from an academic perspective, the education that I received here, especially in the radio, TV, film department, under the guidance of Dr. Bob, Dr. Robert Snyder, the founder of the program, that just completely powered my career at every level, from the beginning when I was a sports writer, sports editor here at a pair of Wisconsin Associated Press daily newspapers, later on as a media and marketing specialist, a book author. Thanks to my great friend Rich Bickle, I became a competitor and a race day spotter in one of the highest forms of motorsports in the world today, NASCAR. From a social standpoint, being a member of the UWO campus community, as well as a member of Delta Sigma Phi, where again, I mentioned Sherman Randerson up there. Sherman was our faculty advisor. He turned me around. I mean, I probably would have flunked out if it wasn't for Sherman. I'm probably one of the few guys in the world that ever joined a fraternity to stay in school. But the quality of the men and the quality of the experience that I had at Delta Sigma Phi and on this campus made me a different person, a better person. Speaking of better people, my great friend Carl Van Lith is over here. Carl and I were best mates here at UWO, and in 1980, 4 years after we marched together that day in commencement, he introduced me to this engaging, wonderful young woman named Gail Trelli. And 5 years later, he stood best man in our wedding, a marriage that will celebrate its 40th anniversary next year. To say that I got the full measure of my education here at Oshkosh in every way is a vast understatement. In fact, I told Wendell earlier this summer that I don't believe anybody ever got more out of their student loan money than I did. Given that UWO has always been so special to me and such a great big part of my life, I always wanted to come back here somehow. And now in retirement, I've been able to do that, and in large part, that's been made possible by three incredible people. The first one is my Delta Sigma Phi fraternity brother, Jim Rath, who just badgered me forever to reconnect with our fraternity, and when I did, I found that experience so amazing, not only being with them, but being back here on campus, that I wandered over here to this very building, and I found myself standing in front of the incomparable Christine Gantner, the queen of all things alumni. And yes, I was asking what I could do, and she put me in a speaker series. And there I met an amazing instructor, Professor Beth Hubbard from the radio, TV, film department. And turns out Beth is a really big NASCAR fan. And she invited me to come and be part of her classes. And I have to tell you, it's been amazing to do that. I'm sitting in these classes, and some of the same rooms I was in 50 years ago. And all of these memories of those times are just washing over me. But I also have this realization that the memories that I'm making right now, right here, right now, are as good as anything I ever had, and in some cases, this award, better. So what I'd like to do this evening is I'd like to encourage every alumni, whether you're here in this room or out here watching on the internet, on Titan TV, reconnect with the university. You have so much to give as alumni. You have so much to give. And the university needs your help right now. They need your help. And I'm sure they're going to be receptive to you coming in. Christine, call Christine. Call your department chair from your major and offer to do something. Offer to do it. And I guarantee you, I can only base it on my experience, but I guarantee it that you will get way more out of it than you ever put into it. I think I probably have already, my wife's pointing at the watch. I think I've already exceeded the suggested time. But I would be really remiss if I didn't mention the most important people in my family, in my life, and that's my family. My mom and dad, Katie and Louie Close, were just amazing people, and they instilled so many good life lessons in myself and my brother Lou and my sister Donna. And one of them that that Dad always used to say is that your accomplishments are never solely your own, that you only get them because of the help of others, and that we all stand on the shoulders of others. And over the last 40 years, the shoulders that I've certainly stood the tallest upon have been my wife Gail and my son Sam. I got news for you. I'm not always this wonderful. And if anybody deserves an award tonight, it's Gail and Sam for all the love and support, encouragement. You know, at times they subjugated their hopes and dreams so I could realize mine. So when I say to them, God, I love you guys more than the numbers, you know exactly what I mean. So I'll take the checkered flag here. I'll wave the checkered flag on this. By first of all, congratulating all of the other Distinguished Alumni Award recipients this evening, as well as all the others who have come here in the last 60 years. The numbers of whatever it was, I think it was 110,000 graduates, and there's approximately 500 of us, is an amazing honor. And that said, I will always, always, always consider it one of my greatest life achievements to be counted among you. And certainly last but not least, I would very, very much like to thank the Distinguished Alumni Selection Committee for recognizing the accomplishments and achievements of all graduates, regardless of what field, what professional arena, what personal community that they were accomplished in, and ultimately for recognizing those of a career sports scribbler and stock car racer. So that said, have a great homecoming weekend to everybody, and as always, peace, love, Titan pride. Thank you very much.
And our next Distinguished Alumni Award honoree is Alan Freitag, who graduated with a degree in radio, television, film in 1973. Freitag retired from the U.S. Air Force in 1995 as a lieutenant colonel after more than 22 years of service, including nearly 10 years in Europe, 4 years in the Pentagon, and 2 years in Hawaii. Upon return to civilian life, he earned a PhD in mass communication, specializing in public relations from Ohio University's E.W. Scripps School of Journalism. That was in 1999. He went on to serve as a professor and eventually an assistant dean at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, until his retirement in 2021. Freitag's resume is immense, serving in senior military positions at the Pentagon and with NATO. He has conducted numerous workshops, guest lectured in the United States and in Poland, and has been the subject of numerous interviews and story features. He has a long list of community service efforts, many in Charlotte, North Carolina, including hosting several dinners at his home in 2001 for State Department-sponsored visits to Charlotte by Indonesian leaders, Bulgarian business leaders and their escorts, officials of the Charlotte International Visitors Bureau, and for visiting Mongolian dignitaries. He has traveled to 68 countries, is skilled in French and German languages and is studying Polish.
And I learned that UW Oshkosh had this new radio, TV, film department under the direction of a man by the name of Dr. Robert Snyder, Doc Snyder, as we all came to know him. And so I arranged to come up and take a tour, and Doc Snyder just bent over backwards. He spent a half a day with me, taking me around, not just to the facilities of the radio, TV, film department, but also the entire campus. And by the time I left, my mind was made up. I was going to UW Oshkosh. And now, more than 50 years later, to be singled out for this distinct honor is so touching. I'll tell you, one of the things that my wife and I have done, I've traveled to 68 countries now, done a lot of traveling, but in the last 10 years or so, we've traveled a lot to Poland. Instead of going to Poland as we normally would for a month or 6 weeks, we're coming up to Oshkosh to just be part of this celebration, not just for me, but for the other great alums, and to celebrate UW Oshkosh, and especially the 60th anniversary of the Radio, TV, Film Department.
Alan Freitag, please step forward to receive your Distinguished Alumni Award for your esteemed military service and higher education career.
Wendell, you left out the pickleball part.
I'm sorry.
A stand-up comedian friend of mine helped me prepare my remarks, so here goes. Hey, what a great crowd. Is there anybody here from out of town? Now, this is very difficult for me. Not speaking in front of a crowd, but staying up so long past my bedtime. Chancellor Leavitt, fellow awardees, distinguished guests, and the rest of you. 51 years ago, in June 1973, I graduated from this university. I actually completed my studies the December before, but at the time there was no mid-year commencement. I don't know if there is now. So my commencement would have been in June, but by that time I was already in San Antonio completing officer training with the U.S. Air Force and could not attend my graduation. Consequently, I am considering this event my commencement. So, it is a little late, but no less meaningful, largely because now my student loan is nearly paid off. So feel free when I leave the dais to toss your caps into the air. If you don't have a cap, use a dinner plate or a centerpiece. The knowledge, skills, and abilities that I acquired during my time here at UW Oshkosh proved invaluable in my military career and my academic career. I am so extremely grateful to this university, and especially to the faculty, to the staff, to the administrators, past and present, who have made UW Oshkosh the respected and valued university it was, it remains, and it will continue to be. To my fellow alumni, so good to see so many of you here. You are here this evening because you share my gratitude for and my admiration of this great university. This campus holds our best memories, perhaps a few regrets, but it certainly holds far more meaning than we are able to adequately express, though many of my fellow awardees this evening have done such a wonderful job of doing that, and I thank you. For me, UW Oshkosh was a major pivot point in my life. Here, my plans and prospects went from rather limited to unfettered, from restricted to inspired, and from dull to dazzling. My field of vision dramatically expanded and extended. The likelihood of personal and professional achievement became far more hopeful and probable. I am deeply moved by this award. Thank you to the Alumni Association. I treasure this celebratory weekend. I'm especially delighted to share it, as others have before me, with their spouses. But my wife, Robin, is here. She deserves most of the credit for any accolades I've achieved. And we will celebrate in December 45 years. Nobody has topped that so far together. I'm also delighted at my table to have my niece, Beth, and her husband, Drew, both products of the Radio, TV, Film Department of UW Oshkosh. I have no doubt one or two of them will be up here receiving an award in the years ahead. Above all, I thank my Savior, Jesus Christ, whose mercy and grace have sustained me through trials and triumphs, and whose sacrifice guarantees my final victory. Thank you all so very much for this wonderful occasion.
Tonight, we honor two Alumni Outstanding Service Award recipients. The Alumni Outstanding Service Award was created in 2021 in honor of the university's sesquicentennial. It recognizes a graduate who has made exemplary contributions to UW Oshkosh through the support of the university and their volunteer efforts. Allow me first to introduce Dan Tomey, a dedicated double alumnus who earned his bachelor's degree in accounting and finance in 1985 and continues to show his Titan pride in his ongoing service and commitment to his alma mater. Tomey of Appleton is a managing member of Axiom Advisors, providing independent advice on corporate finance matters. Tomey, his journey with UWO began as a student athlete, where he excelled in both track and cross country, having lettered all 4 years and elected captain in both sports. His success as a student athlete and strong leadership skills set the stage for a lifetime of dedication to the institution. Tomey's dedication to UWO has been evident in his roles on the College of Business Advisory Board, the UWO Foundation, and his ongoing involvement with UWO athletics. Tomey's commitment to service extends beyond the borders of UW Oshkosh. His involvement in various volunteer and service activities showcases his commitment to bettering his community. He served on the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation Board, contributed to the Community Foundation of the Fox Cities, and was a founding officer of Junior Patriots Baseball in 2013, which now serves over 100 youth aged 13 to 17. But a touching example of Tomey's character is his recent act of selflessness. When his former track coach, John Zupunk, faced the task of caring for his wife, who was dealing with some health challenges, Tomey went above and beyond. Last year, Tomey and his wife, Sue, purchased a home in Arizona, just blocks away from Zupunk, to offer help and support. Jamie Pollard, a friend and former teammate who also competed under Coach Zupunk, describes this act as the ultimate act of service to UWO.
Dan Tomey, and I graduated in December of 1984. I grew up as the son of a dairy farmer in east central Wisconsin, and my mother went to school here when it was at State Teachers College, so I was familiar with it. But I was looking for a school that had a high-quality accounting program, and I was a competitive distance runner in high school,
and I was looking for a place where I could try to compete at the next level. Truth was that most of the major accounting firms recruited the best students from here. So you knew if you did well in your classes here that you would have a good start in your career if you wanted to be in accounting or in finance as well. I have several interest areas in the university, you know, professionally, in the college, and in athletics. And so that, and an interest in athletics. And so that provided me some opportunities to serve and to give, whether it's financially or just being a good fan. Well, really, I mean, when I first was contacted about this, I was a little surprised because it was the last thing I was looking for was an award. I found out how it happened, but and I thank my friends and teammates for nominating me.
Please join me in welcoming Dan Tomey to the stage as he receives the well-deserved Alumni Outstanding Service Award.
Well, a few things were said in that video, and thank you to the radio, TV, film folks for that. I'd like to congratulate the other award winners and also thank the university and its leadership, faculty, as well as the Alumni Association for all you've done for us tonight and throughout our time as alumni. I'd like to thank my teammates, my college teammates, two of which are here tonight. Jamie Pollard and his wife Ellen are at our table, and Tom Ryle and his wife Beth. They apparently are the nominators for this award. You know, they've historically shown periodic lapses in judgment, and so this nomination may be evidence of that again. We've got a lot of stories that we won't tell. It'll help all our careers a little bit, but we had a lot of fun here, but we were great teammates in track and field and cross country. You know, I came to UWO to attend the College of Business and to run track and cross country. And is a big important part of that. You know, at the beginning of my college career, I wasn't really able to be very competitive because I had some nagging injuries. And frankly, after my first semester, I wasn't even going to enroll for the next year. I just didn't see how it mattered. I wasn't running well, and I was a little frustrated. But a coach came along, and it was Coach John Zupons. John's at our table tonight. John brought me along, both physically and emotionally, and really brought my fervor back for the sport. And by the end of that first year, I thought I could do it, and I did. And I really thank John a lot for that, because I just don't know what would have happened if I'd have been somewhere else without that commitment to that sport. You know, it's something that I just want to thank him. His wife, Deb, is at the table. You know, you see the UW Oshkosh Athletic Department show this placard of 50 national titles. Well, they coached 24 of those national titles. I wasn't part of any of those teams. Not even close. After some of us slower guys graduated, they started winning. In fact, John's cross-country teams won national titles in 1988, 1989, and 1990, 3-4 years after I was here. I was along the side cheering for them, but, you know, no way in hell I'd have been able to help those teams. Deb's teams won many as well, and their history is well documented. But the most important thing they've done is they've kept a whole group of Titan athletes who were their athletes that they've mentored together as a tight group of alumni who get together and do things for that. We're proud Titans because of their activities, and That's special. I'd also like to thank the College of Business, who did a wonderful job of preparing me both in accounting and finance. You know, it's hard to pick out people, but I will remember one. I have a special mention to College of Business Professor Bob Niendorf. He was a finance major who cultivated my interest in corporate finance. I used his base knowledge to build a career in mergers and acquisitions. I started out in accounting, worked in an accounting firm, was a partner in an accounting firm, but my interest was in finance, and that's really worked out well. He set very lofty expectations. Frankly, he even created a bit of fear if you came to your class unprepared. You know, your clients do that too. And so I thank him and the UW-Oshkosh College of Business for that background and support. You know, the College of Business Dean's Advisory Board was something I served on, and also in the UWO Foundation when we needed to do some transition, and that was something I was glad to do. You know, about 12, 13 years ago, I got a phone call from a friend who was a basketball coach in Iowa, but grew up in the area, Pat Yuckham. Some of you know Pat. And he suggested to me that he was interested in being the coach of the UW-Oshkosh Titans. And I said, Pat, you know, it's a tough year last year. We were 0-16 in the WIAC. What do you want to do that for? And he said, Dan, this is the place. It's got the people. It's got the facilities. We can win there. I want to win there. We can win there. And we is the important part of that. And he brought along with him a brand new assistant coach, Matt Lewis, who's sitting at our table tonight. And Matt was there right from the beginning. And let me tell you, there weren't a lot of people there in the seats at the beginning. But when you paid attention and listened to this wasn't about basketball. Trust me, those guys didn't want me to touch a ball. They built a culture and a team that not only won eventually on the court, getting to the finals of the 2018 national tournament and winning the national title in 2019. And they are spectacular athletes, but more importantly, they have a culture and an outward view that it is impressive. And Matt and his players represent this school as well as anyone. And I just have to tell you that my interest in sports is sort of a selfish interest. I like it, but I like things that are good, things that are done right, and Matt and his team do it right. And I just challenge you as a Titan alum, go see a game. Go see the football team tomorrow if you can. Just support those activities. Andy, I think you said something years ago that I remember. You said that sports can be the front porch for the university. I've kind of made it the front porch and maybe the den with a flat screen as well. But to me, it's really important because, you know, none of us are going to be pros, but a lot of us learned a lot of things here, both as athletes and as students, that have taken us to good levels of success and being a big part of a community. And watching people do that and lead these teams are where I got a lot of, it influenced me. So I just ask you to please focus on supporting whatever element of this school you can support and watch these teams play. I guarantee if you go once, you'll go twice, you'll go more. And if you can't get there, watch it on the stream, but provide support. So when I said sport, track, and business, I meant it. That's a very important part of this institution that I appreciate, and it's one I've served. So thanks for the opportunity. Thanks to the Alumni Association. And thanks to my wife, Sue, who allowed me to do all of those things. Travel to all wild parts of America to watch the Titans play and never complained about it.
All right. Yeah, right. Way to go. Next, we honor Chris Tarman, a 2014 graduate with a degree in Human Services Leadership with the Alumni Outstanding Service Award. Tarman serves as University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh Chief of Police, and during his 15 years with the UWO Police Department, Tarman has worked to foster relationships between the UWO PD, the campus community, and the community at large. Tarman co-created the popular Run with the Cops, an annual event that has raised nearly $500,000 for the Special Olympics Wisconsin in the past decade. The run has seen as many as 1,000 people coming together for a good cause. As a member of the Winnebago County Overdose Fatality Review Team, Tarman was instrumental in starting the Narcan program at UW-Oshkosh, which provided free Narcan and training to the campus community. Tarman helped create the We Heart You mobile app, which connects to substance abuse resources and assistance for people of Outagamie, Winnebago, and Calumet counties, and created Wisconsin Law Enforcement Guardians, a free mobile app that provides 24/7, 365 wellness resources for law enforcement in Wisconsin. Currently, there are nearly 5,000 law enforcement professionals using the app. Additionally, Tarman brought a national active threat response conference to UWO and is a nationally recognized instructor in that area. During the early days of the COVID pandemic in 2020, Tarman and other law enforcement officers were deemed essential workers and worked in person on campus while most went home to shelter in place. Despite the rising deaths globally, Tarman was unshaken in doing what he had to do.
Actually started going to school here for art, photography, and I just really didn't get engaged in the classes very quickly, and I thought law enforcement, criminal justice would be something that you'd always need, you know. Really is cliche. There's two reasons. Like, first of all, growing up, I had some great friends. I sometimes felt like we were harassed. We never were doing anything wrong, but I just thought in my head, I wonder if you could do the job and not be a jerk. That was one reason. The other reason was really that I wanted to be able to help folks make it to where I did. We've got about 40 or 50 students who work for our police department on campus, and it's kind of a neat opportunity to hear some of the stories about, like, Dr. Jones, who's been here for over 40 years, and they get to experience him in a different way than I experienced him when I was here. And they're just members of the faculty who continue to shine, you know, have gone to school here and then came back and was able to obviously create an impact in some way that somebody thought I should get an award for it. But at the same time, that's not what it's about. It's really about helping people, right? Like, it's about, how do I make a difference? I don't want to live a day where I missed an opportunity to do something that I should have done.
Congratulations, Chris Tarman.
I think camera really does add like 20 pounds, hey? Actually, I've lost 20 pounds since they shot that picture, so I'm feeling pretty good up here. So, and I think I planned that out. I'm wearing the same clothes, so that all worked out pretty well for me, too. I also think I'm the last person that stands between you sitting here and you walking out that door. So, how much time do I have, Chris? 3 minutes? All right, I'll figure it out. No, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Did you guys all pay for parking out there? Some of you did. Okay, just checking. I don't know if anybody's checking on parking out there or not. So, no, seriously, what an honor to be here and to honestly to listen to the stories of the people who make such an impact. It's so humbling to stand up here and be somebody getting an award like that, because honestly, all I do is my job. So, I think that's what most of us do. I was talking to some folks this morning at the breakfast, and people I talked to were like, I'm not sure why I'm getting an award. And I think that is a cool crowd to be a part of, because really we do what we do because we're here to serve other people, and I think that's what this place taught me to do. So I was looking around, and I get the pleasure of working with a lot of people who are in this room, and I see some faces who I've worked with for now almost 17 years here at UWO, and those are the people who kept me here. Those are the people who made me successful here. Those are the people who allowed me to do the things that are listed in that sheet that say I did all that stuff. I mean, it was never just me. It was always a group of people behind me who actually got those things done. And so cool to stand up here and get this, but thank you to everybody who stood next to me when those things were going on, because that is who deserves the credit for these things. Because it's not just me, it's always somebody else. So, or it's always a group of people. So I find it a privilege to be able to serve as a chief of police here at UW Oshkosh and to give back. And I met my wife here like 24 years ago. Saul Scott, 10th floor. So I heard, yep. Scott, you were talking about learning things in the residence halls. I'm a little curious about some of these stories nobody want to share. But actually, after 17 years, never mind. I think I probably know what they are. So I've seen them, lived them, talked about them, wrote tickets about them, stuff like that. So, no, it's super cool to be here. I need to say thank you to my mom. She's wrote my story. So cool to be a part of somebody who wrote my story and helped me to be where I am today. And my family, my kids aren't here. They're hopefully not wrecking the house. Have you been checking on them, babe? Love my kids. I have a really good team at the police department. I think my team actually put me in for this award, and so thanks for that. And it takes them, too, to do these things. So just, I've learned a lot here, and I've stuck around here because something special about UW Oshkosh is that, and you've heard it in the stories, but the folks who work here, they lean in. They lean into our students. They share the story of our students. They actually go above and beyond to make our students successful. And as the chief of police, I think I have that opportunity too, and that's why I've been successful. So I want to continue to encourage you like everybody else has. Be engaged. Listen to the stories. You don't even know the impact of the words until sometimes 10 years later, but they're important in the moment. So use that, and thank you so much for this award. I appreciate it, and thanks, babe, for always being there for me. Have a good night.
Next, I'd like to ask Melanie Cross, president of the UWO Alumni Association Board of Directors, to come forward to help me recognize members of the Alumni Association Board of Directors who have fulfilled their terms of service. Melanie is a 2010 graduate and works as a freelance graphic designer and owner of Happy Designs. We're pleased to honor and thank 5 members of the UW Oshkosh Alumni Association Board who have recently completed their terms for their dedicated service to the Alumni Association's Board of Directors. As a lasting token of appreciation, a brick in each of their names has been installed in the patio of this building, and tonight they receive a mini replica brick to display in their home or office, acknowledging their dedicated service to their alma mater. First up is Linda Bailey Boylini. Linda graduated in 1973 and enjoyed a distinguished 37-year career in education, retiring from the Lake Geneva School District, where she served as a teacher. She completed 3 terms on the Alumni Association Board of Directors and chaired the Chapters Committee. We thank Linda for her dedicated service. Please give her a round of applause. Next, we honor Katie Odell Freitag, who graduated with a criminal justice degree in 2009 and earned her Master of Social Work degree in 2016 and works for the State of Wisconsin Department of Health Services. She served 2 terms on the Alumni Association Board of Directors and a leadership role as Vice President. John Strauss received his undergraduate degree in biology in 1972 and a Master of Science in Biology in 1982, and served as the UW-Oshkosh Medical Technology Program Director from 2008 to 2017. John completed 3 terms on the board and served as chair of the awards committee, so you can thank him if you enjoyed tonight's program. Finally, we'd like to honor Kevin Jacklin as our Alumni Board past president. Kevin is a 1985 College of Business graduate and also earned his MBA in 1985. He is an assistant teaching professor and manager of the Willie D. Davis Finance Lab at UW Green Bay. Kevin served 3 terms on the board in addition to his leadership roles as treasurer and president. Thank you for your dedicated service to the Alumni Association Board of Directors.
Things are heavy.
Next, I'd like to introduce Brooke Buntrock Tabbert, a 2004 graduate of UWO who serves as executive director of the UW-Oshkosh Foundation, to provide some final remarks. Brooke?
So I'll correct Chris, I am the one keeping you from getting out of here, so no pressure, but I'll keep it quick. So I just want to say congratulations to all of our incredible awardees. Scott mentioned every year, I'm blown away. I am incredibly blown away by our award winners, and so incredibly proud and honored to be an alumna of UW-Oshkosh, to be even considered in the same class as all of you. So congratulations, and thank you to everyone that is here tonight to celebrate, and online, hi, that's here to celebrate and honor our awardees, but also to support UW-Oshkosh. Being back on campus really does show. I heard quite a few individuals that award winners that said, wow, being back, it all comes flooding back, all those memories. And you think about your times at Oshkosh, and you think about your times in class and the times that really changed you and made you who you are. And I took a couple tidbits. I was taking notes. I was that person taking notes. UW-Oshkosh showed me I had potential. UWO told me I could. I might tear up, sorry. UWO makes the next generation of global leaders. I am more than prepared. I was more than prepared for me to soar for my dreams. I could be a lawyer because I worked in Res Life. I thought that was great, right? I know a few lawyers here, and I was looking around, and I saw a lot of nodding heads. But your coaches and your teammates gave you those skills and that support to know that you could stay here and you could be successful. Your deans, your professors, those experiences you had on campus make you who you are. And you remember that when you're back. So here we go. On the table, I want you to think of those times when you were in campus. I want you to think of those award winners around you. And there are envelopes. See? Yes, UWO Foundation, right? Here we go. But really quickly, I just want to say there are so many ways, as John said, so many ways that you can support UW-Oshkosh. Come back to campus. Speak to our students. Mentor our students. Support our colleges. We need that more than ever right now. We also need your support to ensure that our students now and in the future have that same incredible experience that we had and that our students are receiving right now. So on your tables, there are envelopes, there are cards that have QR codes. It even invites you to give an honor of someone. If you're here for an award winner or you know of a past award winner, give an honor of them. Give an honor of your time at UWO. Give an honor of the future of UWO. And I just want to say I thank you for being here. This was an incredible event as always. Thank you to the award winners for your incredible, moving speeches, because that makes all of us, I'm speaking to those in our office, but those of us who work on campus, just thank you, because that helps us to know that every day we come and we're making that impact, because you are doing so many amazing things for UR. So thank you very much.
Well, what an inspirational evening this has been. We've had a number of outstanding alumni to receive awards tonight. Let's give them another round of applause for their outstanding achievements. They've come to be with us tonight from literally across the globe, but I also want to remind some of you that we also want to acknowledge those who came from North Carolina, who is still reeling from the devastation of Hurricane Helene. We want to thank you for making that trip. We're glad that you and your families are safe. We'll see you tomorrow, though, at homecoming festivities, and as we continue to celebrate UWO pride, tradition, and success. Thank you for coming, and good night.